In this episode, me and cameraman Harrison travel all the way to Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania to hopefully purchase a super rare Yamaha motorcycle for only $1,000. And in about 10 seconds, I'm going to show off my incredible, amazing negotiation skills. This guy's not going to know what hit him. Enjoy. Now, I am a killer negotiator. I've bought over 300 or 400 motorcycles online. I used to work with these guys. I used to beat them up. I'd wear them down on time, and I'd nitpick that bike completely apart. And if they didn't tell me about it prior, that's money I'm taking off. Let's see how cheap we can get this bike. How you doing? Good. I'm Sean.
I'm Jerry.
I'll take it. See it negotiating right there?
Yeah.
Power move. Didn't go exactly as planned. Got a little, I had to buy this bike.
Yeah, it's the quickest negotiation I've ever seen in my life.
That's good. That's good stuff.
You want to start it up? I had it started earlier. Yeah, and then just... Yeah, I don't really know much about the bike. I know the guy told me it was a rare bike. I looked some things up that it was made like 1 year in the US.
Cool, I'm gonna go grab a bill of sale. You grab the title.
Okay.
Dude, that bike's pretty sweet. It's a cool little 250.
Alright, so you're looking at a bike, you're looking at some stranger bike. The one thing you gotta do is you gotta compare the VIN on the title with the VIN on the bike. It should end in 0393. So the VIN's gotta be in two spots, and next also gonna be on a sticker. 000393. This is number 393 of these ever built or released in America. Tires are made in 2014. It's not that bad. I have to admit, my negotiations have gotten a little soft in the past couple years, but it's a good deal. Never beat a guy up on a good deal. So this is not the first time I've attempted something like this. The last two times have not gone very well. About a year ago, I bought a 1969 Honda CB305. Tried to drive it back 600 miles from Ohio. That bike is still in the shop a year later. Maybe about 2 months ago, me and my buddy Jared, we tried to ride back from North Carolina on a 1975 BMW R90. That bike also didn't make it. So what I've improved, now you know the definition of insanity, you got to change something. What I've improved was I've shortened the distance of the ride. Instead of 500 miles, we're doing about an hour. This is an hour trip. This should be realistic. It's colder, which is a little horrible. And we've gone with the smallest bike I've ever attempted to drive a trip on. A 250. So hopefully that fixes the problem. Now, if this was a 250 Ninja, I wouldn't be excited about it. There's so many of them out there. They're all beat up, you know what I mean, the older ones, and you know, they're kind of ugly. Now, this is a mildly better looking. I'm not saying it's that much better looking, but what makes this whole thing and owning this bike and riding this bike so much more exciting and fun is because this bike is so rare. You never see them. You never even hear about them. And then to top it off, taking a freezing cold trip to start off the ownership of this motorcycle. So here is my brand new 1987 Yamaha SRX 250. Now, this was made only 1 year in America, and surprisingly, this might blow your mind away, 17 horsepower. How do you only get 17 horsepower out of a 250cc motor? I mean, lawnmowers are more powerful than that. It was actually detuned for some reason to be in the United States. 17 horsepower and only red lines at 9,000 RPMs. You can get the exact same motorcycle in Australia that would be 32 horsepower, just tuned differently, and red lines at 10.5. So maybe we can make some modifications to it. Just at a quick glance, it's actually in pretty decent shape. You gotta figure, this is an entry-level bike, so most people riding this thing, it's gonna be dropped, it's gonna be beat up, it's gonna be abused. For being 32 years old, it does have decent tires. They said about 500 miles on them. You can tell the guy never turned. Still has the nipples on them. Although the tires are from 2014, that makes about 5 years. It's better than a 30-year-old tire. Now, of course, you're gonna see stuff like this. You're gonna see little nicks and scratches on the bar ends. What's nice about it was the fairings are so narrow, the tank is so small and narrow that if the bike ever got dropped over, it's never gonna hit the tank, it's always gonna hurt the bar ends. What's really surprising is you never see turn signals that aren't bent or broken or hanging off or put on with black electrical tape. Even the back ones, normally these things are the first thing it's gonna hit. You got the cool classic 80s matching looking seat with the matching looking red rims. Now once you get a little closer, you start seeing that this whole engine's been spray painted, which kind of sucks. You know, it's kind of a backyard job. It's, you know, they didn't sand it down and whatever. I'm kind of thinking that these were supposed to be silver,
yeah,
and not black. It
looks so much more tough though, black.
It does look cool. It does rock a YDIS two-stage carburetor, which makes it slightly more complicated to work on. It does run pretty good. Now the guy's got the shifter. I'm sure he had a horrible time. I'm sure he didn't like riding this bike because the shifter is set up for a guy with a huge giant boot. I would readjust it right now, but I don't have the tools to do it. And then of course in classic, you know, bike that's had probably 1 million owners and been in a lot of hands, it's got a different key for the gas tank. So this is probably a different gas tank. Let's pop this thing open.
Man, you filled that thing to the brim.
I mean, I've seen better. Hopefully there's an inline fuel filter on there. Hopefully that should be fine. And as far as I can tell, everything works. The horn works, high beam, low beam works. And it's also, what's kind of unusual about this bike being an 80s motorcycle, it's also a 6-speed transmission. Let's get back on the road. For the drag race, yo, race!
What are we gonna do about the tolls? Because I have an easy pass, but you don't.
Oh shoot. Do you have any cash?
I don't have any cash.
I don't have any cash either. Oh shoot. You know what? Yo, I got an idea. Pull over at the next traffic rest stop.
Okay, alright, sounds good.
Top of the world, ma! I'm freezing out there, man. I gotta see if we have any more jackets in here, right?
Alright, cool.
Ah, crap, I found one. I feel like a total idiot. A few miles before arriving at the shop, Harrison said that the van broke. Upon further investigation, the van was fine. I think Harrison just wanted to ride on the back with Santa. So I just showed that for $1,000 you can buy an awesome, cool bike, and we did a big trip on it, a humongous trip of like 60 miles in freezing cold. Now, part of the reason why I was able to get this bike for and the bike ran great, part of the reason why I was able to get this bike for so cheap was because, look outside, no one's riding bikes right now. It's freezing cold. It's a horrible time to be riding bikes. Or for most people, and especially a bike like this, no one is buying a bike like this. He bought the bike for 1,700 bucks, put 200 bucks into it. He has about $2,000 into the bike, and then first tried to sell for 15, and then dropped it to 1,000 bucks. Still getting no one interested in the bike. You can buy something like this, or you can buy a nice bike for cheap, and then, you know, ride in the winter time, and then, you know, sell it in the springtime, ride a little bit, you know what I mean? Make a couple bucks. And the coolest thing is, this bike is super rare. Now, what's even more, I believe is even more rare than the SRX 250 is actually the SRX 600. I had a friend, he's become a friend, because he always comes up and looks at my bikes and brings cool bikes. He's a bike collector. He brought one of these things up to our shop, and I'm sitting on it. I've never seen one before in my life. I'm sitting on it, and it's got a kickstart. And I'm thinking, yo, kickstart is the coolest thing on a 600. I've never kickstarted a 600cc motorcycle. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, you mind if I kickstart this thing? He's like, yeah, sure. So I'm sitting over here, I go give it the kick. It was still in gear. So as I kick it, the thing bucks, I lose my balance, and I start falling, and he catches me from dropping his extremely rare motorcycle, and his was pristine. Actually, I can't wait to show him this bike. You know what though? I feel bad about that. I don't feel good in my soul about that little race we did with this in the Power Stroke van. I think this can take it. Let's go do that again. Hey guys, we said we were gonna do this. I want to thank you guys. Anyone who bought M1 Moto gloves between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, whatever, we were gonna donate $20 to a charity, Ray's Youth Ministry, and we bought a van load of basketballs and footballs. So I'm super pumped. So thank you guys for doing this. Pat yourself on the back. There's a lot of kids out there who are gonna get some cool outdoor activities because of what you guys did. Thanks. Alright, well, I can't believe I lost again to that fan. Alright guys, that wraps it up. We'll see you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe and check out this other video where we bought an $800 motorcycle and how it did not, things didn't always go as well. We'll see you guys later.